It's Ash from Super Videos, back for another video for Season 10 of The Walking Dead. In this video, we'll be taking a look at whether there's going to be a storyline in which Negan will replace Beta in the Whisper's hierarchy, which will get him to get close enough to Alpha to become her right-hand man, and potentially do some damage at that point. But before we do that, for those of you that don't know, we are doing a poll on the channel. As you know, the channel right now is pretty much Walking Dead focused, but I am looking to expand the channel and start reacting to other shows. So I need your help to pick which show I'm gonna actually start watching and reacting to. There's a bunch of options you can pick from. You can actually visit the straw poll. The link is not only on the page that you can see, but also the link will be shared in the description. You can go there and vote on which show you think I should start watching and reacting to. Before we get started, I do want to put out a comic spoiler warning. We will cover some major spoilers from the comic book, so if you have not read the comics and are not interested to know, turn off the video because I don't want to spoil it for you. So with that spoiler warning out of the way, let's get right into it. So of course, in the comics, much to everyone's surprise, the Whisper's leader Alpha dies before we actually dive into the Whisper's conflict, which is the Whisper War. That war was ultimately led by Beta in the comic book, who was not as fit as Alpha to be the leader. Not that Alpha was fit, but Alpha at least had certain leader-like qualities, which Beta definitely lacked. He was more hot-headed and his temper got in the middle of things, whereas Alpha established her power in a calmer manner. Beta's incompetence as a leader was actually one of the main reasons the survivors were able to defeat the Whispers as easily as they did. I'm sure if Alpha was around, the survivors would have had a few more brutal losses in the battle during the war than they did the way things turned out. So what I think is a possibility based on where things are heading, they could do a clever remix of the comic book and have a scenario where Beta gets killed off earlier in the war, similar to how Alpha died earlier. And you can have Alpha be the lead during the Whisper War. And this time around, since Alpha, especially the TV show version of Alpha, is more strategic and more calculated as a leader, you'll have a more entertaining and exciting fight. Because it's going to be entertaining and exciting to see how they will be able to handle the Whispers when the survivors are really kind of the underdogs if you look at the way things are turning out right now. Now this could go down two ways. You could have someone other than Negan killing Beta, which is a possibility, or you could have Negan killing Beta. And this would actually work because if this happens, then it would push Negan to find his way into taking that second spot position next to Alpha and become Alpha's right-hand man. You could have Negan kill Beta in a way where his cover is not blown, or you could have Negan set him up to make Beta look like he's going against Alpha's orders, and then have Negan kill Beta, maybe in front of Alpha or something. And this would, in a way, quote-unquote save the Alpha, which would obviously make Alpha trust Negan, and potentially go to a direction where she puts Negan as her second in command. But if they do this, then it may not really be as good of a remix, because that would mean that Negan will not be able to get big moments with Alpha. But what I think would be absolutely awesome is to have Daryl kill Beta. Maybe Negan gives Daryl the opportunity to do it, or something like that. And then you can have Negan get close to Alpha somehow afterwards. And the other reason why this would work is that you would give Daryl a chance to have his second showdown with Beta. The first one, of course, being in Season 9. Now, if it does go down like that, you could still have Negan try to show Alpha that Beta wasn't on her side, or something like that, to build that trust between Alpha and Negan. But then after that, with no Beta around, and Gamma most likely being dead at that time, Negan will be able to deliver the final blow by killing Alpha and taking her head to, let's say, Carol or Daryl. And this would work whether it was Carol that let Negan out, whether it was Daryl, or whether it was none of them. You could make all of those different scenarios work out if they go this route. Now, if this is not how it goes down and Negan ends up killing Beta, then Negan can work his magic and give Carol the opportunity to kill Alpha afterwards. But regardless of how it goes down, I think there's a chance for them to remix the story and have Beta die earlier on before the actual war starts, and have Alpha be a bigger part of the war. unlike the comics. One of the final things I do want to bring up here is that some people may be wondering why Negan can't just kill Alpha right away. There's a few reasons. The first one is that it would be suicide as far as Negan's concerned, because even if Negan does kill Alpha in a way nobody sees, the Whispers are not just gonna let it slide, and they're going to want to find out who did it. And Negan is gonna be the first person that everyone looks at. He's the outsider in a way, so he's gonna be the first suspect, whether someone sees him or not. The second reason why Negan can't just kill Alpha right away is that Negan is smart enough to know that to destroy a group like the Whispers, you should do more than just take out their leader. You should take out the ones who can become the next Alpha as well. Negan has seen this firsthand with Simon in his own group, the Saviors, when he was still in charge of the Saviors, or when they were still around. Simon was actually ready to become the next leader in order to push his own agenda.
You want to be the man, you got to beat the man. You can do that. Hell, you should be the man.
I challenge you. You're not fit to lead anymore.
That is wrong. That's democracy for you.
So Negan knows if you kill Alpha, then there's a Beta and a Gamma and so on. Even if the current Beta, Gamma, etc. are dead at this point, there are going to be Whispers who are going to jump at the opportunity in a heartbeat. So what Negan is going to do is he's probably going to need to figure out who or what may potentially become a threat. And he's going to need to stop that threat before it actually becomes a threat. But with that said, I do want to know everyone's thoughts and opinions about this. Do you think Beta will die before Alpha in the TV show version? And if you do, how do you think it'll go down? If you don't think Beta is going to die before Alpha, how do you think it's going to go down? Do you think they're going to have this story follow the comics, or do you think they're going to still remix it to an extent? And let me know how you think they're going to do it. That's it for this video. See you next time for another super video. If you like what you see, press like, subscribe for more content, and press the bell button to receive notifications for daily uploads.